welcome back. Since the first list had so many massive titles, we're diving back in for part 2 of the most anticipated movies hitting theaters in 2026. From long-awaited sequels to experimental horror, the slate for this year is looking absolutely stacked. We've got some legendary directors returning to the big screen and some truly unique stories that are already generating massive hype. Let's jump straight into number 10. Starting us off at number 10 is a massive leap for the Star Wars franchise, as Din Djarin and Baby Yoda move from Disney Plus to the big screen. Directed by Jon Favreau, the visionary behind Iron Man and The Lion King, this film marks the first Star Wars theatrical release in years. Pedro Pascal returns as the titular bounty hunter, joined by sci-fi legend Sigourney Weaver. This space adventure genre film acts as a direct continuation of the series, following Mando and Grogu as they navigate a galaxy still reeling from the Empire's shadow. Fans are ecstatic to see the high-budget scale of the New Republic on an IMAX screen, especially with Grogu finally entering his formal apprenticeship. But many fans are worried that the story might feel like a long TV episode, or that casual viewers who haven't seen the Disney Plus shows will feel lost in the plot. It's set to release on May 22. At number 9, we have the return of the ultimate deadly game of hide-and-seek. Ready or Not 2 is directed by the duo Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, known as Radio Silence, who previously revitalized the Scream franchise. Samara Weaving is back as a resilient Grace, joined by new cast members like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Elijah Wood. This horror comedy sequel finds Grace facing a whole new twisted family with their own lethal traditions. The first movie was a sleeper hit that balanced gore with dark humor perfectly, and audiences are eager to see how Grace survives another night of absolute chaos. It's expected to be a wild, blood-soaked ride that elevates the original's high stakes, but a few fans are worried that the sequel might lose the lightning-in-a-bottle charm and tight pacing that made the 2019 original such a surprise sleeper hit. It hits theaters on March 20th. Number 8 is a film many didn't see coming, The Social Reckoning. Written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, who won an Oscar for The Social Network, this is a spiritual sequel to the 2010 masterpiece. The biographical drama stars Jeremy Strong as Mark Zuckerberg, alongside Mikey Madison as whistleblower Frances Haugen. The story focuses on the 2021 Facebook leaks and the internal controversies that rocked the tech giant nearly 2 decades after its founding. People are excited because Sorkin is the master of fast-paced, intellectual dialogue, and seeing him tackle the modern-day fallout of social media is a match made in cinematic heaven. It's shaping up to be the definitive drama of the digital age. While the talent involved is top tier, some fans are worried that a sequel to a perfect movie like The Social Network might tarnish its legacy, or that the subject matter might feel too much like a lecture rather than a compelling cinematic story. It's scheduled for October 9th.
Coming in at number 7, we're heading back to a magical land with Greta Gerwig's adaptation of The Magician's Nephew. After the billion-dollar success of Barbie and the critical acclaim of Little Women, Gerwig is taking on C.S. Lewis's beloved fantasy world. The cast is incredible, featuring Emma Mackey as the White Witch and Daniel Craig in a key role. As a prequel to the better-known Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the story explores the very creation of Narnia and the origins of the magical rings. There's huge excitement to see Gerwig's visual style applied to such a lush fantasy setting, and fans are hoping this marks a faithful, high-quality reboot for the entire franchise. But there is a major fan concern. Many are worried about the Netflix effect. Fans fear that a streaming-first production might lack the grand, tangible feel of the original films, or that the heavy CGI might not live up to the book's lush descriptions. It arrives in IMAX on Thanksgiving 2026 before heading to Netflix.
Next up is Scream 7, and the hype is through the roof because the original creator, Kevin Williamson, is back in the director's chair. Williamson wrote the first Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, so fans know the series is in safe hands. Neve Campbell makes her triumphant return as Sidney Prescott, alongside Isabel May and Courtney Cox. This slasher mystery finds Sidney's new life under threat when a new Ghostface begins targeting her daughter. The excitement stems from seeing the final girl legend back at the center of the story, facing a killer who seems to know her every move. It's a return to the franchise's roots that horror fans have been demanding. Despite the excitement for Williamson's return, there is significant fan worry following the high-profile departures of previous stars Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. Many viewers are anxious about whether the franchise can successfully pivot back to the legacy characters without the core 4 cast members who led the recent successful reboots. But despite these all things, mark your calendars for February 27th.
At number 5, we have another attempt to bring the iconic survival horror game Resident Evil to life. This time, it's being handled by director Zach Kreger, who blew everyone away with his terrifying film Barbarian. This reboot stars Austin Abrams as a medical courier caught in the middle of a viral outbreak. Unlike previous action-heavy versions, this film is leaning hard into the horror and claustrophobia of the source material. The story focuses on the initial chaos in Raccoon City, emphasizing scares over superpowers. Fans of the games are particularly excited because Kreger's involvement suggests a truly unsettling atmospheric experience that finally captures the dread of the original Capcom titles. It's set for release on September 18th.
Number 4 is one of the most talked about biopics in years, Michael. Directed by Antoine Fuqua, the man behind Training Day and The Equalizer, this film looks at the complicated life of the king of pop. Michael Jackson is portrayed by his real-life nephew, Jafar Jackson, who looks and moves exactly like him. The cast also features Coleman Domingo as Joe Jackson and Miles Teller. The musical drama covers everything from Michael's rise with the Jackson 5 to his solo superstardom and the controversies that followed. The public is fascinated to see how Fuqua handles such a massive legacy, and the early footage of Jafar's performance has already left people stunned by the resemblance. This is easily one of the most controversial films on the list. Fans and critics are deeply worried about how the movie will handle the allegations against Jackson. There's a fear that the estate-backed production will sanitize the story, ignoring the darker controversies to protect his image, which has led to intense debate long before the first trailer even dropped. It's coming to theaters on April 24. Taking the number 3 spot is The Bride, a gothic horror romance directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, who previously directed the acclaimed The Lost Daughter. This is a bold punk rock reimagining of the Bride of Frankenstein story set in 1930s Chicago. It features a powerhouse cast including Jessie Buckley as the bride and Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster, with appearances by Penelope Cruz and Peter Sarsgaard. The story follows a lonely monster who seeks a doctor's help to create a companion, leading to an unexpected romance that sparks a social revolution. This isn't your typical monster movie. It's being described as a dark, stylish, and deeply emotional film, which has cinephiles very excited for its unique vision. It releases on March 6. Just missing the top spot is Werewolf, a period horror film from the master of atmosphere Robert Eggers. Known for The Witch and The Northman, Eggers is famous for his extreme attention to historical detail. The film stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, and Willem Dafoe. Set in a remote medieval landscape, the story follows a small village plagued by a series of brutal, animalistic killings that suggest something supernatural is lurking in the woods. Written in Middle English, this movie promises to be a raw and terrifying look at the werewolf mythos. Audiences are excited because Kreger never makes a typical horror movie. He creates immersive experiences that stay with you long after the credits roll. It hits theaters on Christmas Day. And finally, at number 1, we have Clayface. This is a standalone DC horror thriller written by Mike Flanagan, the genius behind The Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass, and directed by James Watkins. Tom Rhys-Harris stars as Matt Hagen, a struggling actor whose face is disfigured in an accident. In a desperate bid to save his career, he uses a mysterious chemical that allows him to reshape his flesh, eventually turning him into a tragic shape-shifting monster. This is a massive departure from the usual superhero film, focusing on body horror and psychological tragedy rather than capes and costumes. It's set for September 11.